Rachel could not be here today. She is having some feline issues. Julia will be filling in for her.
Hi, guys.
She's normally stuck behind the camera, but I think I like her a little better on this side.
I'm not so sure about it, but we'll see how it goes.
Can't see her blush when she's on that side. Cinco de Mayo. Going to do a few different types of scratch cocktails. If I can actually speak, we'll get started on those. Margaritas. Going to start off standard. And again, when I say a standard cocktail, there are always variations. Everybody likes their drinks certain ways. Almost every drink, you're going to go to a different bar, get it a different way. Having said that, highly recommend scratch margaritas. What I mean by that is not using the corn syrup sour mix that you see at 90% of bars. It's just not acceptable. I would not recommend it.
So how do we do it?
First things first, every margarita, put down that little one, let's grab the big one here. Tequila, about 2 ounces of tequila. And a ½ ounce of triple sec, or whatever preferable orange liqueur you like. This one we're just kind of doing a scratch. Well, margarita, I'm just going to use the basic triple sec. We'll get a little fancy here in a second. And then sour mix. To do a sour mix, the general rule for a sour is 1/3 lime, 1/3 lemon, 1/3 simple syrup, which is obviously just sugar and water. You can just keep that ratio and make however big a batch you like, and that sour mix will keep fresh in your fridge for at least 5 days. Right here, we're just going to start off with the simple, and I'm going to do 1 ounce of each mixed in here. A little bit of lime juice. A little bit of lemon juice.
And that was just equal parts?
Equal parts. And again, you can batch that up as big as you like. Margaritas actually batch themselves very well if you want to make just, a couple pitchers for a house party that we're not allowed to have or any stuff like that. We're just going to shake that up a little bit. And going to do a little cheater rim here, showing you how to do them at home since you probably don't have a bar rimmer. A little bit of salt on a plate, lime around the edge just for that little bit of citrus moisture. Gives you a little bit of rim. You can either use the ice you shake it with, or you can put in a little fresh ice. Totally up to you. It's just a little bit cleaner look in a professional setting if you use fresh ice. It's not really going to change the drink too much. You have one scratch margarita.
Yum.
And the next one I'm going to show you is actually a little house specialty here. It's what we like to call the no regrets.
No, oh, you're going to make that one for us?
I'm going to make that one.
That is one of the most popular drinks that we had on the menu at Papa
It is the most popular, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's the most popular.
Other than maybe coffee.
Yeah, good point.
So, this right here, Capena. It's a chili pepper tequila. It's actually all spiced up with chili peppers. If you can't find Capena right now, obviously you can just find some chili peppers, toss in some tequila. You can make something pretty comparable to it. Since this one's going to be a little bit nicer, we're actually going to use the fancy orange liqueur. We're going to do a ½ ounce of the Cointreau. And you can actually, depending on how sweet you like your margaritas, you can skip this step, or you can leave out the simple when you're making your sour. Again, it's one of those things that's all personal preference. There's not a right way and a wrong way, there's just the way you like. Having said that, there is kind of a standard way, which is what we're doing at the moment. So again, I'm just doing 1 ounce each on the simple, lime and lemon. Same exact thing as we did last time, just a little bit different ingredients on the tequila and the orange liqueur. Adding in some ice. Give that a couple shakes. The one other thing I'm going to do different here, instead of just the basic salt, I actually got a little salt that's made for us by Big Island Burn. Again, this salt's got local Hawaiian chili peppers for some heat in it. So it's kind of something cool about this beverage is every single bit of heat comes from the island. Gonna use a little bit of fresh ice again, just because we're fancy around here.
Can you remind me how to make simple syrup?
Simple syrup, half sugar, half hot water. You can boil it if you want. If you have access to really hot water, like out of a electric kettle or a coffee machine or something like that, that's plenty hot. With just regular simple, you don't actually have to boil it. It just generally likes to be a little bit more than what you're going to get out of most standard taps as far as heat goes to really break down that sugar and get into the liquid.
Yum.
Normally I'd serve that with, instead of a lime, a little Hawaiian chili peppers perched on the ridge there, but we're kind of short on those supplies at the moment. You know, with that whole not really being open and serving alcohol thing, I haven't been doing a lot of ordering, so I cheated with the lime.
Did you ever see anybody eat those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're little, but they are hot.
Yeah. Yeah, some people do not react well to those. Yeah, I'm actually not going to talk about the first time I saw somebody eat one of those here. It was not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, they should come with a warning, but it is
Yeah,
called
well,
the
you know,
no
I think
regrets,
that's
so.
when people call it a pepper, that's the warning. It's kind of one of those Darwin things. Next up, next drink we're going to do, it's actually much, much, much more popular in Mexico than a margarita is. It hasn't quite caught on the same way in the United States, but we're going to make a Paloma. Again, one of those drinks where there's a million variations. The two keys that you will always see in a Paloma is tequila and grapefruit. The reason I see grapefruit instead of grapefruit juice is you'll actually see a lot out there that just use grapefruit soda or certain things like that. You know, you'll see a lot of recipes with tequila and lime juice and squirt. And squirt, not knocking it or whatever, but it's literally 1% grapefruit juice. For me personally, I like to go ahead and use actual grapefruit juice and then add a splash of soda water. Feels like the flavor's a little more pure and on point that way. 2 ounces of tequila. We're not going to do the orange liqueur in this. What we are going to do is just 1 ounce of the lime juice. About a ½ ounce of simple just to lighten it up just a little bit. Again, this is one of those things you can take it or leave it. It's all personal preference. And then we're going to do a couple ounces of fresh grapefruit juice.
We have a grapefruit tree in our yard, so I'm paying close attention to this.
I'll write it down for you. A little bit of ice. And again, this is one of those beverages, can be made a lot of different ways. Some people like a salt rim, some people don't. Almost kind of like a salty dog or just a greyhound, same thing for a Paloma. What I generally do is just salt half the rim, give people the choice. And I'm actually going to pour this one in a tall glass. So I've got a little bit of filler room there to put that soda on top.
I don't know if I've ever seen this on a menu anywhere. It's popular in Mexico, though.
Hugely popular. I forget the exact statistic, but I want to say Palomas in local areas in Mexico outnumber margaritas like 4 to 1.
Wow.
Paloma is actually Spanish for dove, so it's a peaceful drink.
Oh.
Unless you have 6 of them, then it's not very peaceful. I wouldn't know that from personal experience, but... So, yeah, that is a few different tequila-based cocktails that we're doing today for Cinco de Mayo. Wish you guys were here to celebrate it with us. Unfortunately, we're not quite through with lockdown here yet, but they are starting to build or ease some of the restrictions. So hopefully pretty soon here we'll get to see you again in person. I'd be a much bigger fan of that because I'll be the first one to admit it. These little camera shows are not my forte, but hey, I'm working on it, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thank you, Julia.
Thanks, Tommy.
See you Thursday, guys.